Welcome to Survivor NSFW. Jonny Fairplay, we're matching with our Tony Nachos t-shirt. And honestly, Sex Dr. Mike, who's joining us tonight, has a blue t-shirt on or some sort of shirt. Maybe it's an Under Armour. Who knows? But we match.
It's the color scheme. He got the color scheme. Sex Dr. Mike, if you could head over to johnnyfairplay.com, you could get the Tony Nacho shirt as proudly worn by myself and Matt Bischoff currently, and many others across the planet. Turns out that Tony is a fan favorite going into tonight's penultimate episode of Survivor Season 40, Winners at War.
I mean, he has to be the favorite, like the Survivor favorite player of all time at this point, right?
He's getting there.
I love Tony.
Yeah.
I really do. I always have. And man, this season is 100%. I'm full on Team Tony.
Okay, so just to get a little house cleaning out of the way before we start, we are excited and beyond excited to have all the sponsors that we have and that we've built to here on the Survivor NSFW podcast. Now, we understand with those sponsors that there are ad reads, and you guys have voiced to us, hey, ad reads. We get it. We're going to start with 2 ad reads. We're going to do the rest of the podcast, and we're going to finish with 3 ad reads. Okay? So now you know it. It's easy. You do what you need to do. During the ad reads, we try to make them fun. So keep that in mind. Okay? So with that being said, tonight was the penultimate episode of Survivor. Season 40, Winners at War. If you've been following along here on the podcast and through my social media, you know that you could have got in at fanduel.com/fairplay. Fairplay, all caps. That's FANDUEL.com/fairplay, FAIRPLAY. All caps, that is case sensitive, the fair play part. And each week before the episode starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time, you get in your picks and you choose your castaways that you think are going to do like who you think's going to find a hidden immunity idol, who you think's going to play at an advantage, who you think's going to have an advantage played against them, who you think's going to win immunity, who you think would possibly win a reward. All these things you can guess, and you rank them, of the people that you choose, like Tony's probably going to do a lot of stuff. Like 2 weeks ago, Tony had the biggest episode in the history of U.S. Survivor. I believe it was an 18 confessional count. He won immunity. He did everything you could possibly do on a U.S. version of Survivor. So if you had Tony locked in as your number one pick that week, you probably won. Each and every week this season, they've been giving away $2,040. It's free to play. You just go to fanduel.com/fairplay. Now, next week is your final chance to play on this season of Survivor. So you have from later tonight until next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern to get in and lock in your picks. Once again, fanduel.com/fairplay. Fairplay is all caps. We'd like to thank the good folks over at FanDuel for sponsoring the podcast. Also last week, we added a new sponsor. We were so excited to bring on the guys at Magic Spoon. Growing up, cereal was one of the best parts of being a kid, but I had to give it up because I realized it was full of sugar and junk that you really shouldn't eat. I personally have been trying to cut down on carbs, sugar, and unhealthy food and realize I basically can't eat anything anymore. Or anything else other than breakfast. Sex Dr. Mike told me to skip breakfast. Thanks, Sex Dr. Mike. But thanks to our good friends at Magic Spoon, bam, 0 grams of sugar, 12 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. 4 delicious flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. It tastes amazing. Honestly, too good to be true. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. So as a result, you can now go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a variety pack and try it for yourself today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, It's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/survivor and use the promo code survivor for free shipping. And we thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the Survivor NSFW podcast.
And you mentioned Coco a minute ago. Do you follow Coco on Instagram, Ice-T's wife?
I
do.
I do, and I have for a while. But I mean, I follow so many people that a lot of people get lost in the shuffle.
Right on. Well, Sex Dr. Mike is here. Mike, thank you for joining us tonight. Now, you obviously have been hunkered down, quarantined. Are you back to work yet, or have you just been living a life of being a guest on various podcasts?
I mean, I'm doing telemedicine visits and operating 1 day a week on urgent/emergent cases, and then seeing patients 1 day a week for emergencies, like urgent/emergent visits. We took off for so long that there's such a backlog of these guys with like obstructing stones, like kidney stones, but that fortunately aren't septic. So they weren't emergencies, but they really need to go. These guys are in pain.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me there's people, I've never had a kidney stone, knock on wood, but there's people that have these issues right now that have not been able to get that taken care of?
Well, I think you always have to talk about the risks versus benefits, and the concept of walking into a hospital for most people where there's a pandemic going on and people are just scared, and rightfully so, realistically. No, people are like, I'll deal with the pain, I'll hold off and just wait,
Well, I'm glad that you are here to save the day and help people out right now. And for those people that need the help, you're able to do it no matter what. So props to you, my man.
Do you want to know what my most frequent telemedicine visit is, though?
Please tell us.
Yeah. I really believe it's. I mean, this is what basically they say to me. My prostate hurts. The tip of my penis hurts. What really it is I have nothing to do during quarantine. I'm walking off way too much, and everything hurts. And inevitably, when you ask them, you're like, "How many times are you whacking off a day?" And they're like, "I mean, a lot, like 2, 3, which realistically means 4 or 5." And I'm like, just cut down to like every other day for a couple weeks, and you'll be fine.
So, but their prostate hurt. Like, are they fingering their butt?
I don't need to know that. I don't ask that.
What other cause for their prostate? I mean, like
I've only had 2 patients ever ask me if I give myself self-exams like they do. 21 years. 2 guys that come in saying my prostate feels abnormal.
I mean, like I can see someone saying, "Hey, like the head of my penis hurts." It's just like, "Yeah, you've been choking," but it's like the head of my penis and my prostate.
The head of your penis, it's deferred pain usually. If the head of your penis hurts, it's typically a prostate issue. It's like left arm pain with your heart, same type of thing.
Okay, so they're not fingering their butt.
No, they're not fingering their tissue.
Potentially.
Maybe we should do a patron-only podcast where Sex Dr. Mike shows us how to give ourselves self-prostate exams via StreamYard.
Did you see the male chastity belt that I had to deal with the other week that I posted?
No.
Yeah, you should look up the video. I mean, the pictures of the male chastity belt. These guys, they strap these things onto them. It's ridiculous.
And then was he like stuck in it?
Uh-huh. Yeah, the key wouldn't work.
The key. Oh,
I told them to get a locksmith, and instead they were like, "No, come in and saw it off." I'm like, "Yeah, I could hurt the guy. Just get a locksmith to drill out the lock."
So you didn't go?
No, I had them saw it off. Actually, I walked them through it.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Well,
right.
enough of dick talk.
Yeah, sex Dr. Mike. I was.
Where are the Blue Chew advertisements? Where are the?
They're at the
where
end.
are the fleshlight advertisements? Where are the shaving advertisements?
Stop it. They're all at the end.
Okay. As far as the cereal, I would say I think it's a great Mother's Day gift for this week, because if my wife didn't have to worry about what to feed the kids for breakfast every day,
boom,
that would be great.
There you go.
Great Mother's Day gift. Yeah. I got you cereal.
Yeah. So we're not talking sponsors. So I was running the numbers in my head going into tonight's episode, and
5 times a day.
No. I was not. I'm not on the island. So I just once or twice, and I'm just like, if I had to put money down, like if I were to, like, we're not allowed. Matt and myself are not allowed to do the FanDuel thing. But if we were to, if I had to put money down, my 1 and 2 going home tonight were Ben and Denise, and I was just like, how perfect to have on the guest Sex Dr. Mike, who knows Ben
and Denise. I mean, I talked to her.
Okay,
but so my friend calls me about one of these sites like FanDuel's, and I said Jeremy and Michelle. So I got Jeremy right, but I missed the first confessional. I missed the person who won the immunity challenge, so I was done. But you look at who's competing against who are the groups. I don't know if you know, but I think it's been talked about that Denise and Sarah are from supposedly the same town in Iowa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I did know because you were there with me at Hearts of Reality. Ben and Sarah were thick as thieves that weekend.
Thick as thieves. I've never seen anything like it. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they had a premonition that 40 would potentially be all winners. And I don't think that was on anyone's radar at 3 years ago.
It wasn't on our radar, but I think it was also on Wendell's radar and Adam's radar, who I probably were hanging out with them too, and we just didn't realize it.
Wow.
I don't think they were. I really because Wendell was there. It was all of Ghost Island, so they were kind of to themselves, and then everyone else, was all to. It was almost like two separate groups, Ghost Island, and then all the other survivors. But like as I said, of very obvious in their in their new friendship was Ben and Officer Sarah.
Oh, they together nonstop.
Yeah. So, but
I went to that event with Ben. I mean, we're close, and they were very, very close, I think. So clearly they're very close. I mean,
but I felt that the friendship between Tony and Jeremy going into the episode looked like it superseded that Ben and Sarah relationship.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I felt that Tony's relationship or friendship with Jeremy was stronger than, or at least Tony would carry more weight as far as, protecting Jeremy over Ben, and he chose.
But I feel like every podcast that I listened to pre-season said, just like they said they want to get Sarah out first, all the girls, everybody was like, Jeremy is the most dangerous player out there. He's new school mixed with old school. He has all these connections all over the place. And so it wasn't surprising to me that at some point people are like, Jeremy's the most dangerous player out here, and we just got to get rid of him. He has too many friends on the jury at this point.
Yeah, but I just felt once he made it to a certain part, it's just like, does he keep going? Because I felt like he did make it over the obstacles, the immediate obstacles that he needed to.
Yeah. You're wrong.
I think the inability for Ben and Jeremy to become friends was the last obstacle that he could not overcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that
they
was
were struggling with that. They were struggling that the whole time. So we see it after Tribal Council. The episode starts out night 29. He ends up giving the 50-50 advantage back to Michelle. And he's
Would you have done that, Matt?
Well, I think he kind of had to do it.
No, you're playing for $2 million, right? You're playing for $2 million. You know they're coming after you. It's day 34. Would you have really given it back to Michelle?
Yes, because if you got it once, you can get it a second time. If he had didn't, though. But if he had made the hard sell on, I need this, she would have. If he would have said, I need this, she would have given it to him.
So at Tribal Council, when he's looking at her with his eyes all,
he didn't say it. He didn't say the words.
You literally think, and we'll have to ask Michelle this question.
Uh-huh.
If he would have said at Tribal Council, Michelle, please, I know I'm going home, give that to me. Because she was kind of questioning whether she was going to use it or not for her own self.
She was looking for him to tell her if he really felt he needed it. If he would have said the words, she would have given it to him.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because I agree. I think all three of us would have given it back to Michelle, and all three of us are losers, right? Would Boston Rob have given it back to Michelle?
Never.
No.
Exactly. Exactly.
I see
He's a better
players
player.
like Russell Hance would not have given it back, I don't think. I don't think there's certain people that I think would, but Jeremy, he makes a statement like, "Man,
whoa. Okay, but for the same reason, Boston Rob wouldn't give it back. It makes him a better player, and the same reason Russell wouldn't give it back makes him a better player. Also, so that doesn't count.
Also, what you say?
Rob's played 18 times. He only won with fans.
Mm-hmm.
Any other jury that he was there, or any other tribe that he competed or castaways that he played against, would not reward that behavior.
Right. Except all of these jury members are Jeremy's friends, so I think they might have rewarded it, but I don't know. I mean.
So Jeremy's wondering why.
Jeremy perhaps. Boston Rob, no.
Mm-hmm.
So. And what I was going to say is Jeremy kind of, in a confessional, he's like, wonders why he's so popular. He's got to know how likable of a guy he is, dude. You know what I mean? Like
he knows. He knows.
I know he does. He does.
No, that's, I think that there's, it builds frustration, it's just like, I got it, but,
right.
But no, he knows. So he's like, just talking with the guy. I mean, he's friendly, outgoing. Like he has every admirable quality you're looking for in a human being. And he's a freaking hero. He's a real life hero. He's a firefighter.
Yeah. And I mean, they did the little throwback of like the kind of the preview of the whole season at the last part of this episode, which I would have rather not seen that and I would have rather seen the freaking challenge for Edge of Extinction.
That's what I thought.
I thought too, yeah.
I'm looking at the clock. There's 15 minutes, and I'm just like, I think we're going to get the challenge. And then, I'm trying not to talk myself out of it. And I'm just like, okay, there's two options. We either get the fucking challenge that we want to see, or we get a 15-minute look back at the season. But isn't that what they fucking start the finale with?
Yes, it is.
Like,
I think
this really felt like a filler fucking episode.
Well, it's weird because even my son Ryder, like after that happened, he's like, I didn't like that, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, the fact that they just played a freaking recap for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
he's like, I would have rather seen gameplay happen.
But I mean, but isn't that like?
That's what they start off. That's the exact thing, dude. That they start off with.
On the finale.
The dramatic, seven people.
You mean to tell me they have a 3-hour episode coming next Wednesday night, and there's first-time viewers. My mom, Edge of Extinction last time, my mom was a first-time viewer of that season, and they're planning on people, because it's average. Hey, it's the finale. This is the episode you want to see.
Yeah,
they're not going to tell you, hey, and here's what you missed this season. And then,
I think my family actually, I was thinking the same thing. Like, why are we doing this? But my entire family was excited after that filler. Like after that promo, it was almost like a WWE match. Like they were amped for Survivor. It's like
that's good. That's why
But I still feel like we're
I also felt like, do you remember they used to have us all, like, not us, but probably you, were like the final few, like, walk up the mountain and like talk about each player that like had been voted off the game.
It was called the rites of passage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think this was sort of a throwback to that. I felt like sort of
but I would have preferred the rites of passage.
I guess. I mean, you can't make everybody happy.
We'll see next week if they
because there's no way they don't start next week with the same bullshit.
You're probably right. But it was exciting. It's like, I think the thing is that usually the 2-hour episode, if you like historically, I feel like the 2-hour episode is like this crazy tribal something bizarre happens.
We got none of that.
This was not that episode.
No,
Right.
like this was one of those maintenance episodes that you see, with 4 episodes left, and it's just like, okay, well, that person needed to go.
Right, and I think one of the interesting things about this episode for me was the focus that they kept saying on everybody's being honest this season, and loyalty and friendship is surpassing like gameplay and treachery. And I'm thinking, winners at war, like, isn't it supposed to be the exact opposite?
And I think it has been the exact opposite.
Well, I think the edit has shown it to be the exact opposite, but not necessarily.
It was so anticlimactic that, like, we've had whispers every single episode going into this episode for 5 episodes in a row, and then tonight no whispers. It's just like, I think,
I was glad there was no whispers.
I think the world was glad, but at the same time, I think it also spelled for 2 really anticlimactic votes.
Yeah, they were not exciting tribal councils. But so we see Denise there, she's going on this emotional journey where she's gets this paint out and she writes endure or let go. It's kind of a yin and yang type thing, man, where she's battling in her head, Jonny Fairplay. I don't know. I think she's just battling. Is she giving up? I know we see her at the end kind of playing up that she's giving up, but do you think Denise still has a lot in the tank?
I think it was all an act, and I think the jury even saw that it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you could see them. You could see them.
But I think she had hit her wit's end at that tribal, the one before,
right?
And I think she just needed to put up that mantra for herself. But it was in no way a quit. It was a I need
strategic ploy.
I think it was for she goes, I need this to read and to focus on for my last part of the game. So for her to refocus.
I mean, here's the thing: is that I think Nick fell for it, right? And then when you're doing these things and you're looking at yourself and it's day 35, you're saying to yourself, how am I going to win against these people? Who am I going up against in the end? And I think, looking at the live comments, I think we all agree that if Tony's on that final 3, he's winning, hands down, no matter who. But she's looking and she's saying, what can I do to own this situation? I need to show the jury that I'm somewhat in control, that I'm owning this here, like that I am like a force to be reckoned with. And I think that's sort of her, like, this is sort of her, like grandstanding to the jury, I think, a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So real quick, before we finish up with the Denise thing, prior to the Denise thing, we have Jeremy saying it's the penultimate step of the war. And conveniently, it was the penultimate episode of the season. So I'm glad that worked. I'm glad that Jeremy was counting the days and the episodes in his head. He's just like, this should probably make it into the episode if I time this exactly correctly.
Now you see Tony and Sarah talking like about the Cops Are Us alliance. It started 6 years ago, which, man, time flies. Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe that it's been 6 years since Tony's, Cagayan, I guess, the first season, right? That the Cops Are Us.
Cops Are Us started, and he immediately betrayed her.
So, do you guys think that it's possible that, are they really truly 100% till the end, or do you think Sarah is going to go after Tony? I just can't believe that that Tony was on no one's radar.
That's crazy.
Or Sarah, like this whole episode. How in the hell?
Why didn't Jeremy say, let's vote out Tony?
Dude, I know. I can't even believe that it wasn't even brought up. Do you think it was brought up and we didn't see it because it didn't play out? Or do you just think people are just so fucking dumb that they're not even like thinking that he could win? It's just like, dude, this guy's going to fucking win. And Sarah and Tony are the 2 most dangerous players in the game.
I think it's one of those deals where when someone has that, like Tony won 3 immunities in a row.
Yep.
And he's controlling alliances and he's making moves and making decisions for others. And I think it's one of those deals where when someone has that much power, when they don't have power, it's just like, well, they still kind of have power. It's just like, no, motherfucker, they don't. Yeah. But you don't. Right. But you're just in that groove of, well, Tony still kind of has power.
Do you think that just goes to show how great of a player Tony is? Yes. That yes. He literally just puts off this aura about him that he's just like an unstoppable force.
Now, do they know that he has an idol?
Ben knows he has an idol, and he knows that Ben has an idol.
Well, but during the last tribal, wasn't he like, Sarah was like, I don't think I need you to play it. So I think everybody must know he has an idol.
Everyone, and they're not even, they're maybe at this point, they're too scared to flush it out. That you probably have a point there, Mike.
And we see
Dr. Mike, sorry. I know everyone wanted the you
can call me whatever you want.
The impression.
Do you still sell my shirts?
Yeah, like if you scroll down to the very bottom of JonnyFairplay.com, the very first shirt I ever sold was "Trust Me, I'm a Sex Doctor."
And you sold one to Mike, right?
No, I sold two.
I think my wife threw it away.
Yeah, collector's item, Mike.
Oh, yeah. My joke. I can't say it. No.
What can you say? No, you're on the NSFW.
My joke of the day is that I say that I want my wife to strangle me, and she wants to strangle me, but I don't think it's the same fantasy.
I have met Barry multiple times, and you are 100% correct.
We try, like we're in quarantine. It's crazy with 3 kids. We'll
talk Blue Chew at the end, Mike. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
So, what'd you guys think of this immunity challenge, the first one? Were you stoked? Basically, it's immunity challenge plus 2 fire tokens. You got to toss 2 times. You got to toss a ball up on a little track, and Michelle just cannot get this at all. Does this seem like a challenge that you guys would do well at or poorly at?
Well, I saw the same challenge on the Final Four. Was it Final Four, Final Three? See the Final Four, Final Three on Australian All-Stars. And it starts with that, except of course it's longer. And then the physical part of the challenge begins after that. And then you kind of have the snake deal from there. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, oh wow. Look at a really friendly version.
I mean,
look at the kids play at home version of Australian Survivor All-Stars.
Here's the thing about this challenge. I mean, and I feel very strongly about this actually. If you are going on Survivor and you have not memorized how to do a slide puzzle,
yeah,
what is the matter with you?
Or fire.
Also, I think clearly, Nick, look, you can practice fire and you can still just not be good at it because especially 39 days in or 38 days in because your fingers are tired and you're sore and stuff like that.
No, I can make fire when I need to. I don't know if I can be like Ben. There was a valid point in the fact that Ben can make fire in 2. What's the fastest you've seen Ben make fire?
I mean, quick, but I could going out on my season. I could make fire in a minute, right?
Okay,
like that was my.
But
yes, I hear what you're saying. But a slide puzzle,
people out there should be able to make fire.
A 4x4 slide puzzle. Yeah. You should be able to. I mean, you go on the internet, you learn how to do them. It should be done in less than a minute. Yeah, and I think clearly Nick knows how to do it. You know, yeah. I mean, I can do it in like 35 seconds, but but. I mean, these are bigger blocks. You don't know which the pieces are going where. Like, I get it, right? But like these other guys took 10 minutes, right? Like these other guys, like they never took the time to learn, and I don't get that.
Yeah. I don't either. Like if you look at the history of Survivor, they've recycled so many puzzles. So I mean, like you watch Australian All-Stars, Nick, who I didn't want to like, I keep watching him. During the All-Star season, he gets to a puzzle that like Nick has a notebook of every single puzzle in Australian Survivor, every single puzzle in US Survivor. They eventually get to a challenge where Nick's like blind with my eyes closed, I can do this puzzle. Like, I mean, and that
because he was prepared 100% going into the if you go, especially after winners that were
$2 million. Do some puzzle homework. Learn how to build a fire in a minute, and learn how to do a slide puzzle.
So Nick ends up winning this, and we see a lot of footage of Michelle crying. Michelle crying kind of overshadowed Nick's win and everything else. It's like she just felt bad for herself that probably, kind of like I did when I got my ass handed to me by Francesca on my season in the first damn challenge. She couldn't even get one ball across in the first part of that challenge. So, people don't realize that you're in the game playing this crazy game, but then it does air on national television, and sometimes it can be humiliating. Well,
I mean, with you and Francesca,
wasn't she the first boot twice?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, but she still whooped Matt's ass in that one episode she was there.
Oh, yeah, she
so
did.
Bad. It's honestly the highlight of the season, Mike. If you have a good 3 minutes to spare, you can see Francesca's highlight.
The funny thing is that like I met her once, like at my finale.
Yeah.
And immediately I was like, "Oh, Francesca," whatever it is, and she like looked at me. I was like it just rolls off your tongue. You can't even help it, right? She's caught it like a gazillion times. It's you never know what's going to happen when you go out there.
So Nick wins, and everyone is bummed about that.
Yes. But going back to the challenge real quick, my takeaways from the challenge are these things. Ben loses his ball. And then every time he turned around, I noticed he's been losing his hair. Was not aware of that, but beautiful smile. That bald spot. If we had For Him still on as a sponsor, Ben should be calling them up. When Tony finally gets his balls through, drop kicking the sand to start the push. I love that.
Tony and Ben did that, right?
That's called a basement drop kick in wrestling, and it was beautifully executed by Tony. And Michelle not one ball. Michelle does win immunity, but so he did not lose. But how has Nick not lost weight? Has anyone noticed this? Nick looks like he's weighing exactly the same as when the game started.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I don't know.
But all I know is that everyone seemed like bummed. Like, damn, this is another instance where, in Nick's first season, David versus Goliath, he was going to go home first. Had if that was the case, and now again, Nick somehow wins and pulls through when it really matters, and that happened at this time. So everyone's like, it's Plan B.
Yeah,
who are we going to get out besides Nick?
When Nick does win, I'm sitting there looking at the TV, and it harpened me back to David versus Goliath, and I'm just like, oh my God, like how crazy would a Nick win be? And then I'm like, this would easily be the worst edit ever in the history of Survivor because they've done nothing to tell this fucking story.
Yeah. Right. I mean, the only thing we know about Nick is that he's like Donathan, the vampire version of Donathan.
Yeah, evil vampire Donathan.
Right. They're both from Louisiana.
Yeah. I mean, like he amazingly got mentioned earlier in the episode because Sarah pitched getting rid of Nick to Ben. And then Ben had the amazing idea, going into the challenge, talking to Tony, that maybe they should get rid of Nick. He had thought about that all by himself and explained the reasons why that Sarah had explained to him that he figured out. It was really. Did you find Ben to be that malleable when you played with him, or was he making more decisions on his own?
I mean, I think when I played with Ben. I mean, it was when I played with Ben, there was no decision to be made up until the merge because we won.
Yeah.
And then we separated and we're not on each other's side ever again. So I'm the wrong person to ask. I think when he was in his original alliance, he was the head of it. And then, right. And then once we convinced everybody that he has to go home, he never made a decision again, Yeah. He just kept.
So watching Ben play a 180-degree game from Hustlers, Heroes, Healers. Are you impressed?
I mean, I think he's trying to change. I think he's trying to be more social. I think he's trying to listen to more people. You can look, none of us, I call these days between like 27 and 37. No one's getting along with anybody in these days, right? Like no one's having sex. Everybody smells. Everybody's hungry. It's like you want to kill each other. And I remember those days. I wanted to kill Ben. I experienced the same thing that Adam experienced, Michelle experienced, Jeremy experienced. It's not surprising. I mean, is Ben a great guy when he's fed and, drinking a beer with you? Absolutely. But it's I don't think anybody's a great guy when you've been hungry on a beach for 37 days with them.
Yeah, but adaptability, I think, is the greatest quality of a returning player.
Well, and I think Ben's adapting. I really do.
I think Ben might have adapted his game more than he's definitely in the upper echelon of people that have adapted their game on here playing a second time.
Johnny, are you saying you like Ben?
I've said it for the last 3 episodes. I like Ben.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it.
And I have an inside scoop on Ben that you probably don't know, Mike.
What's that?
I don't know if you've heard, but Ben may have served our nation's military.
I completely fell for it.
Jesus.
I saw that coming a mile. I love Ben. I love Ben his first time. I think Ben's playing a more paranoid game this time, I think, than last time. But hey, it's winners at war. He's playing for $2 million. So
how does Ben win? I mean, I think at this episode, in the penultimate episode, I think we should go through. I mean, I don't know if you want to do this at the end. I might run a little short on time, or you guys might. But each person, how do they win at this point? Like, who do they bring to the final 3? Like, what's Denise thinking? Who's she thinking? Who's Michelle thinking? Who's Ben thinking? Like,
okay, let's go through. It's kind of
Tony can beat anybody, right?
Tony can beat anybody. I think Sarah can beat anybody as long as she doesn't bring Tony.
Right, or I think Sarah's thinking she can convince everybody that she was in control of Tony the whole time.
Well, I think she got to come to Jesus meeting with Michelle early in the episode and found out that's not the case.
Yeah, I think if Tony and Sarah go to the end together, Tony wins.
Absolutely.
In any scenario.
Absolutely.
And I thought it was very telling. I mean, Matt, have you met Officer Sarah in person?
No, I wish.
Okay, so me and Mike have met. She is a fucking beast in real life. I mean, like you can just tell, like physically standing beside her. I mean, do your research. 7 marathons, 7 days, 7 continents. Very few human beings on the planet have ever done that or even thought about doing that. She's done it.
She's also an overwhelming personality.
Yes. So, but you meet her in person, and like you can tell that it's just like, this girl could whoop my ass, like in 1 second if she wanted to. Like, and anyone around me combined. I mean, like, and we're watching that challenge, the later challenge, and Sarah falls behind, with that one piece, and she's like, Tony, go win, and I'm just like, Sarah, go win. Like, where is this challenge monster that I'm expecting to see from Sarah that we're not seeing yet?
Well, I mean, there's not much more time for her to prove that. I mean, she's definitely got what it takes. I mean, she is a bad. Maybe she doesn't want to.
Maybe she's just saving it for that final stretch. She wins that final immunity, or she wins an immunity on the final episode, and that's when she pulls the trigger on Tony.
I think
she's got to. I mean, don't you think she is a cutthroat player as far as like
she's just as cutthroat as Tony?
I know. So I definitely think that Sarah would cut the ties with Tony at the end.
Is Tony getting the winner edit or just the edit because he's so entertaining?
I mean, here's my problem, and this I have given this zero thought up until this entire. I mean, with the coronavirus, the quarantine, the lockdown, all that stuff, you get to think about stuff. And I've been pretty happy with this season. I think it's one of the better seasons. I don't think it's the best season of all time. Let's relax. But then I started thinking, what would make Jeff think that this is the greatest season of all time? There's only one thing that I think that would make Jeff think this is the greatest season of all time.
Boston
fucking Rob to fucking come back and win this motherfucker.
Yeah. There is no way. I mean, what's the odds? I mean, so we know that there's
Why
an edge
would
of
he
extinction.
say this is the greatest season ever? Because we're not seeing it.
No, I know. I think it is a great season.
It is
great season of all time. I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
and this was one of the worst penultimate episodes in the history of the show.
I mean, do you think it's? I mean, top 10 seasons of all time, Mike? I mean, do you?
I mean, I have a recency bias, and so yes, but
here we go. No one on the jury is going to allow a repeat of the shame disgraced winner, Chris. That is his full name. Thank you, Janelle. Shame disgraced winner, Chris Underwood.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so who do you guys think is coming back in from the edge?
Well, we're not, Matt. We're not.
I know, but
we're not going to give it. Let's give our pitches, and then we'll pick our person that's coming back. Okay, so Sarah.
I think
anyone
she beats
but Tony.
Anybody but Tony.
Yeah.
Ben. Who does Ben beat?
I think Ben had a better chance with Nick and Michelle than he did with anyone else there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
I think Michelle and Denise maybe, but I don't know. He's not going to have friends on the jury. You know, he didn't get along with Boston Rob. No. He didn't get along with Adam. He didn't get along with Jeremy.
I don't think Ben wins.
I don't think he has a chance. In this scenario, I don't think he has a chance.
I'm trying to stick a square peg in a circular hole here. I've been calling him the winner. And I'm just very nervous.
I try to do that every Saturday night at 2 a.m. And it doesn't matter how many blue chews you take.
If there's a hole, a guy has figured out something to stick in it.
Yeah. So I think Ben has no chance. I mean, they're saying that Denise, you know, she has the resume, you know, being the Queen Slayer. I feel that's all she did. I think she made that one move early. Yeah, she has an immunity here or there, but you know, it is what it is. Like I feel that Sarah's probably holding back, and so you can discount the like if Sarah goes on immunity run at the end, that negates those two immunity wins by Denise. So and as I said, I think it was really telling of the jury when she did the I'll just take the last, and they're all just like they're like bullshit.
And
now,
I don't think Michelle wins either.
But I don't think they're buying what Denise is selling.
Right.
With Michelle, you do have Wendell and like think about all the people that gave Michelle their tokens.
That's true.
When they got voted out.
I think Michelle's a likable. She's the underdog story too.
Well, Michelle has been on the has been on the wrong end of so many votes. But the people that got voted out are the people on the jury.
Right.
Like she wasn't responsible for sitting them there, which a bitter jury is going to find in favor of the person that didn't fucking put them there.
Well, as you know, Michelle's first season, she really didn't have a winner's edit. It kind of came out of left field. You know what I mean? You weren't like, oh, this huge character, and she felt all this backlash like she was an undeserving winner, and she's kind of tried to prove this whole season that she is a deserving winner, right? And she has made it and conquered and won immunity and played advantages but I'm wondering if she has the edit at this point of a winner's edit. I don't know if I see it, but
Tony flat out called. Tony said the meanest thing about Michelle's game that since her season. And Tony says he doesn't want Michelle to stay because she's a goat and goats don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's a little cocky to me. As much as I love Tony, it's like, man, these people all won Survivor. Like maybe you weren't like as big as character, like you're a Sophie or a Yule type character, but they've all won the game. So fucking what? You know what I mean? Everyone doesn't have to be this outrageous guy. Even Jeremy Collins is not some outrageous Johnny Fairplay type character. He's just a super nice guy.
Jeremy Collins is upper tier.
He is upper tier, but I'm just saying, like,
I think Michelle went in with a lower tier resume because it wasn't shown. Conversely, you can say she's upper tier because she won. Like, not only did she beat 19 other people, she beat production too.
Right.
She beat 40 motherfuckers.
Right.
I mean, I think like that's the art. If Michelle, instead of Michelle, trying to say, "Hey, I deserved it," blah blah blah. I think Michelle, or coming back to to prove this time once and for all that she deserved it, in spite of what people said about the other one. If I'm Michelle, I'm just like, "Hey, motherfuckers! Not only did I beat them, I beat production too. I'm one of the best."
Right.
Right. How many times did you guys try to get me out and you couldn't and you didn't? I survived.
Yeah.
I win.
Yeah. And like, so, but Karong, the players couldn't get her out. Production couldn't get her out. Bring it. So, she's, maybe that's the final jury speech that she's saving.
And I love Michelle. Don't get me wrong. I think Michelle's fantastic.
Yeah.
I do too. And she's one of the most beautiful player, just stunningly gorgeous humans.
Just turned 30.
She did. Happy birthday,
Michelle.
She is so freaking sweet, sweet girl.
I think everyone knows that we're pro Michelle on this podcast. We're pro. I mean, like, this is really tough. Like, when you have so many returning players, like, if you can only be an asshole to like 2 or 3.
She said though today. She said on her Instagram live today. I saw she went live for like 1 second. She said she doesn't know how to aqua dump. It's like, how can you play Survivor and not aqua dump?
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm all in on the aqua. I mean, I only did it 3 times in 38 days, but I
mean, my wife had to stop me from aqua dumping in the pool. It was awesome. Like, aqua dumping is the best thing ever. It's great.
Not shocked to hear that at all, Mike. Not that is not new news for us.
So Matt, who's coming back?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, going to the edge of extinction at the end of this episode and showing everybody. I know, like Johnny said, Jeff Probst wants Boston Rob to come back, but I think it could be Tyson coming back into the game. You know what I mean? I think Tyson could come back. I would like to see Natalie come back, since she's literally eating a big tub of peanut butter and has all kinds of advantages. So honestly, she's quite possibly the one to beat.
Doesn't Boston Rob have just as many advantages with his tokens plus Amber's tokens?
Yeah, well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that the challenge they're about to do, which I don't know what it is geared toward Boston Rob to win? It's
going to be going over something, under something in a puzzle, Matt. They're gonna reinvent the wheel. It's something you've never seen before.
I'll tell you what I think, which I just came up with sitting here with you guys.
Yeah.
The whole reason why we have had to watch Natalie win challenge after challenge after challenge and get fire token after fire token after fire token. So we didn't see everybody on Survivor play their fire tokens before the sun went down on day 36, right?
Yeah.
He said you have to play them today. We only saw it with Denise and the rice. We didn't see anything else.
Yep.
But we have seen Natalie and her fire tokens every step of the way. And why did we see her give Tyson an immunity idol? It makes no sense that we had that time spent on that versus more time with Boston Rob and Amber showing how they love each other. Unless they needed to show this entire storyline because Tyson does win and gets back in and now has an idol.
Well, Nick said on the premiere that fire tokens would be part of the winner's game.
Well, that's kind of, that could be a lot of things.
And they always, well, not always, 9 times out of 10, they like to foreshadow on the first episode the end of the game.
Do you think Tyson wins this game? That would be amazing. I know Edge of Extinction sucks, blah, blah, blah. But if Tyson wins, I would be so freaking happy.
I don't know if it could happen, man. But, do you guys think that there's any possibility someone from Edge comes back and wins?
Well, we've discussed this. Mike knows firsthand because he got a picture that night. The 20 winners were forced to watch the finale in the hotel room to show them how Edge of Extinction works. I was hoping that they were shown that so that they wouldn't make the same mistake and let this fucking happen again and correct the purity of the fucking game.
And if the winner does come from Edge of Extinction, it totally makes sense that Jeff would then be like, we're not doing Edge of Extinction for a while, because he knows that people are going to go batshit crazy over this.
Well, I think he didn't hear about it the first time. I think he was isolated, pre-quarantining 2 years ago, and he wasn't aware of the negative feedback. And then going into 40, once they filmed it and everything, going into 40s doing the press, and people during the press are just like, people really hated Edge of Extinction last time. He's like, oh, really? You don't really? They didn't like because that guy, it was really cool, that one episode. It's just like, yeah, no, they hated it. He's like, we're not bringing it back.
But how does Natalie not win with 3 advantages in the challenge? I don't get that. But
how does what?
Because
Natalie not win the challenge with 3 advantages in it?
Because Boston Rob, I think, also has 3 advantages. And someone correct me if I'm wrong if they said that tonight. But we know he has an idol, because the idol, don't get me started, but I would imagine if other people had the idol and he didn't, they'd be like, oh no, that idol's not good on this one. That was just good for the other one. But that idol's good, and he has all those tokens that he's found, because and then he has Amber's tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Boston Rob wins,
okay, there we go.
Melissa,
Rob bought 2 advantages. So he has 1 less advantage than Natalie. But later tonight when Nick has the opportunity to buy the disadvantage, I'm sitting there thinking, it's just like, wow, this could be really cool. But in the history of Survivor, advantages that players have gotten going into a challenge have sometimes been kind of shit. It's just like, you get 1 extra stick on your, it's just like,
or 3 advantages. That's a pretty big one.
But he had 3 advantages last, But
Tyson has none, I guess, is my point. Tyson has to come back from 3 in order for my prophecy to come true.
But they said
I also want Wendell to come back.
I was like, because Wendell said, it's time to put on the war paint. I was just like, oh my God, is this? And because we never got the end of the story. How cool! We had the entire story of Wendell and Michelle.
That would be awesome if it comes back full circle. That would be amazing.
Do we get the fucking end of the story that they never fucking told us?
That would be amazing. This is why it was never told, because it's about to be told.
Kim Sung Ting Wong says, "Don't sleep, my boy." We're just praying Ethan doesn't die.
I hope Ethan comes back. I thought Ethan was going to come back at the beginning of the season.
No, we just stop it. We just don't want him to die during the challenge, please. That's all we're asking for. I mean, he's going to get medevaced out of the fucking challenge.
Do you guys think it got really emotional last time they did this? The people that did not get back into the game, they did a whole segment on the losers, right? So do you think that they're going to spend a lot of time next week on the aftermath of everyone? Are they going to go through every single person and give their final farewells type thing? You know what I mean?
What do you kill Ethan? Sorry. Don't kill Ethan.
Yes.
I don't think so, Matt. I'm hoping that there's no preview. I hope that it's just Survivor gameplay and that it's skipped from this last week and just game on, and immediately they go forward. But no, of course, they're going to show Boston Rob and Parvati talk. They're going to show Ethan crying.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but I seriously don't see anyone winning that came back from Edge of Extinction.
By the way, Matt, I think we should get you a UV light for your beard. That's what I've been thinking.
For what? To see if there's bugs in there?
No, to clean it. UV light it.
Well, I could. I mean, it's
I love it.
It's a lot to clean.
Can we get that on Amazon?
Yeah, you can actually.
Okay, there you go.
Matt. So UV lights can clean dreadlocks?
Yeah, that's what they do for like dialysis machines, and there's now UV phone cleaners. We're using them in the hospitals and stuff.
Well, if my wife listens to this podcast, which I don't know if she's ever listened to the podcast, but if she does, she's probably going to like order one right now.
Johnny, you should get him one. Get a sponsor. Can somebody get him a UV light?
Hey, relax with the sponsors to the end of the episode. Jesus Christ. You don't know the fucking shit I had to listen to all week.
Why? I mean, look, everybody needs to make a living, and I think that you're doing a great service here, both of you guys, on doing this podcast. You're, especially during quarantine, you provide entertainment for millions, possibly. And
five podcasts. No, I'm sorry, 6. Well, it'll probably end up being 7 fucking podcasts this week, but no, heaven forbid we have one podcast with sponsors.
Yeah,
I think if you need sponsors, great.
Yeah,
I mean,
feel free to go Patreon where there's no fucking commercials. But no,
there's like a fast forward 15 seconds on your iPod or like on your phone. I mean, that's just hit the button if you don't want to hear the sponsors.
Right.
I mean, that's what's so shocking to me is like I use that button all the time, but I purposely try to tell a fun story during the middle of the fucking sponsorship ads. So they're fucking funny. So it's just like, if you don't press the button, just like, oh, that was funny. Johnny talked about, trimming his fucking pubes into a fucking whatever.
Right. Like my friend that was bleeding out from his scrotum who didn't use your weed cutter.
There you go. So Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. We'll get there. We'll get to it. Okay. So Nick wins immunity. How's Nick? So when they get back, Nick hangs up his necklace, and everyone snuck past him. Oh, that was a cute little moment.
Mm-hmm. It was.
So I mean, like, to have energy on day 31 for something like that is fun. Mm-hmm. So right out of the gate, Nick throws out Denise. Ben doesn't like that, and so Ben says that they need to get the 50-50 from Michelle. Mm-hmm. So he tells Jeremy to ask for it. But then he tries to trick Michelle and tell her that Jeremy's going to ask for it. Very unsuccessful. Like I'm saying, well, when he does it, I was just like, wow, gameplay from Ben, and then and I'm just like, no.
Now, do you think he watches back the episode and is like, oh shit? It's like, do you think they watch back the episode and are like, I can't believe Tony was hiding in the tree?
I hope so.
I fortunately was the one that was getting over, so I would get calls every week. They're like, "Oh man, oh man, like it was just they make a list of 8 mans per episode of how
I remember Wendell was sitting on my couch to watch his Merge episode.
Yeah, and
he had no idea that Chris Noble had an idol that went unplayed. And he's like, Dominic came so close to going home, except for one bad move by Chris. He was speechless. It's like, oh my God. I had no idea that Ben was a double agent during my season. Mm-hmm. No idea.
Yeah.
Until I watched it.
The realization that people have
working with the castaways in production.
You're an asshole. Okay, guys, I'm going to actually have to go. I got to put my kids to bed.
Oh, please. We've heard them screaming the entire time.
Have you? You have, right?
No,
they're killing each other. They're playing Fortnite. Do you guys play Fortnite?
My kids do, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm a grown man, so I don't.
Okay, so I'm happy to play Fortnite with you guys. If you find me,
yes,
I am Z1235678.
Hey, whoa, real quick, you own a video game team?
I do own part of a video game team. Yes, Simplicity is the name of the team.
Yeah. Yep. So are they are they doing a lot of stuff during the quarantine and you're?
I think so. Okay, I think so. I haven't really been following it, but I can get you somebody that could give you more information about it.
Well, are you like?
We own a bunch of different teams in different events, I think, and so we also own some gaming centers, which obviously are closed right now.
You're losing your ass there, but
not so happy right now.
But I'm thinking online play at home
must be big, and it must be. I haven't really followed it.
You're killing it.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sex Dr. Mike has to go count his money. Is what
I wish. I wish. I mean, I'm losing money. We didn't let go of any of our employees. We have them all on payroll still, and we're not really open. So
look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Trying to do the right thing.
You remain a hero, Sex Dr. Mike, and we love you for it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Well, hold on. And then does anybody Peloton? That's my other thing. Is that like my friends start got me Pelotoning? And so if you do, DM me and we can become Peloton friends.
What is Peloton real quick?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, it's like one of these at-home bikes. You bike at home.
Oh, yeah. I know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have enough patrons for that. We can't afford that.
Yeah. But if your patrons have it, I'm happy to Peloton with them.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, they'll hit it up. Yeah. So, no,
yeah, I mean, I'm happy to.
Matt's doing a podcast from a room that I've come in. So, I mean, come.
Hopefully not with Matt. Or if with Matt, that's great too. But I just hope his wife knows and is okay with that.
Yes. No, Matt was not in the room. So. All right. Sex Dr. Mike. They can find you at Mike Zahalsky. Zahalsky.
The house key with the Z.
Yeah. So it's there on the YouTube. Find Sex Dr. Mike on Twitter. And DM him pictures of whatever's going wrong with your penis. He'll help you out.
I don't give medical advice on Twitter, but I will say,
don't
give personal advice.
Jerk off less during the quarantine.
But I would say, seriously, stay safe during the quarantine, guys. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not convinced the light is when other people say the light is, but stay safe and have a great time. Okay. And thank you guys for having me. You guys are awesome, and keep up the good work.
Cool. Thanks brother.
Dr. Mike.
Bye, guys.
See you, brother. See ya. So Jonny, Fairplay.
Hold on. I want to address this. Dan, these guys are all not. I know Fortnite, motherfucker, and I know what Peloton is, but fucking Sex Dr. Mike doesn't know how to pronounce shit.
I don't know what Peloton is. Fortnite is. I mean, my boys are obsessed with Fortnite. I've been watching Fortnite YouTubes daily.
Peloton's the really nice exercise bike.
Okay, gotcha.
You've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where are we at? I'm discombobulated. So
okay. So Jeremy or Ben has the idea to trick Michelle and Jeremy to work against each other, and they had a one sentence conversation and exposed Ben's plan.
yeah. It's true. And then, so Ben was telling Michelle that Jeremy is going to ask about getting the advantage, and that, he's completely exposed on that whole deal. And he's been exposed quite a bit this season on different things, man. You know what I mean? It's like Ben has, even at tribal council, opened his mouth when maybe he shouldn't have. But I like the game Ben's playing, man. And his beard is looking strong. So with the unsuccessful strategy, you have Ben becomes a target, then Jeremy becomes a target, and Nick holds all the cards going to this tribal. And once again, I'm just like, I love it. I love what's happening. I love Nick in control. Like as I said, flashback to David versus Goliath, and I'm like, but the edit has not said this in any way, and I'm just like, is this the beginning of the end for Nick? And I'm crossing my fingers it's not the case halfway through this episode. Yeah, but Nick seemed to have made, some mistakes. Although, he has some good stuff. Definitely.
Well, we're going to see a mistake here at this first tribal. So the edge of Extinction people come in. Wendell is wearing Danny's jersey. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, no, I did not.
He's wearing Danny's bedazzled Kansas City jersey. So, Wendell, what's up?
Yeah.
So my big takeaway from the beginning of tribal, Nick's hair looks amazing. It looks like Nick has product out there.
It does. His hair is spot on.
Beautiful.
Looking good.
Yeah. So lots of people talking heart, but we're really not seeing that. And then they go through talking about the trust issues they had after Survivor. Michelle said she didn't trust her friends for directions.
Yeah, Ben talks about having trust issues with his wife.
Wow. And then Jeremy said he was not right for 3 months and didn't even trust his colleagues. And it's just like, I don't know. For me, I think outside, as soon as the game was over, I was fine. I guess because, I played the game I wanted to, and, the little situation was what it was. It happened, and I just moved past that. So, but for me personally, I wanted to trust people, but knew the difficulty of trust in the game. Mm-hmm. And so that's what, people at home watching the game, when it comes to loved ones episodes, just like, you motherfuckers were there for 30 days. Why are you crying? Yeah. And it's not you're crying because you miss them. You're crying because you finally have someone you can trust to talk to.
Right.
That's what the tears are about. So, when Thunder D came out and I saw him, I was able to reestablish what trust with a normal person was, and then get back to the game. And then when the game was over, good. Mm-hmm. So, but maybe that one extra day that they played that I didn't, it makes a huge difference because, I don't know. Maybe it was because I was on the right side of the vote so many times versus the opposite. So I could see how it can happen. I just felt blessed that I didn't have those issues leaving the game.
And a lot of people do. I mean, Survivor takes a toll on you. We talked about this in our Patreon. So, someone asked us, and if you want to check out and become a patron, Jonny Fairplay, where can people go to find out all the information?
You just go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. Once again, I think we're going to have seven podcasts this week. This is the only podcast that we have that has commercials. So if you don't like commercials, try our Patreon. We're killing it. I mean, we've had some pretty awesome content, tons more. Tomorrow night, we are recording the Pearl Islands reunion.
Cool.
So
who's recording that? You?
Yeah.
Cool. That's all.
Yeah.
Can I tune in live?
No, because you're doing a podcast with Russell.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Exact same time.
That's right.
Yeah. So no, we're pretty excited. So as of right now, I think we have 6 of the cast. We're expecting 10 or more, perhaps. So no, it should be a really fun deal.
But we talked about I don't know when our new Q&A is dropping, but we recorded it last night. It's dropping Sunday.
Yeah.
And I talk about there was a question a patron and listener of ours asked about what's it like, adapting back into real life after playing Survivor. Right. And I answer my opinion on that. It's hard, man. And especially, I didn't last, very long in comparison to most, but 16 days in the game. But I mean, 39 days winning, these people come back with a lot of craziness. I mean, it sometimes it ruins people's lives. And
plenty of those stories.
Yeah, plenty of those stories.
Plenty.
But at Tribal, Sarah kind of calls out Michelle's 50-50 advantage. It's her last chance to play it. She flips the coin, and she's safe.
That was barely a flip.
Oh, she completely just
she essentially placed that on
she did. And then we talked about this, should she have given it to Jeremy? Jeremy was kind of like looking, and she was like, wasn't quite
if she
sure.
Does, she goes home.
Yeah. So I think, if I'm there, I'm not playing the advantage for anybody except myself, 100%, period. Yeah. Michelle is safe. Jeremy goes home, and he, stands up, and he's not happy. He asks who did it, and then he ends up giving the tokens as he goes out.
Well, he says who did it, and Tony says, sorry, Jay. And then he replies to Tony, bad move, dude.
Yeah, so do you think that Jeremy has, he's going to go to the edge of extinction now. Do you think he's going to tell anything to the edge of extinction players that they don't already know?
I think he's going to tell them that Tony played him for a fool, like a fiddle, expecting them to be like, oh man, that's some bullshit. And they're gonna be like, hell yeah, man. I think they're gonna high five it. They're gonna be like, dude, that's the game. You're one of the best. And one of the best sent you home by playing you.
Yep. They respect that.
That's who we give the award to the greatest winner of all time to.
Yep.
So,
and I think if Tony goes to the end, the jury, no matter who Tony screws over, I feel like this jury is not going to be bitter. They're going to be like, dude. I mean, even Boston Rob called Tony a boss like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but I think Boston Rob changes his tune if he re-enters the game. I am so freaking scared Boston Rob re-enters this game.
Do you think he's going to win if he re-enters the game?
I don't know.
No, dude.
I hope not.
That is going to
be... Boston Rob comes back to the game and Tony's not there. Like say say it's fucking Denise and somebody.
I mean, yeah, the scenario is just thinking about it though. God, I mean, Jeff Probst would love that. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But Jeremy's gone. We go back from tribal.
Michelle got both fire tokens. She's killing it on fire tokens. So who knows what all she bought. So anyway, as I said before, Tony doesn't want Michelle to stay because she thinks she's a goat and goats don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl. Huge words. And I'm sure
he calls her a hyena too. He mentions the hyena thing.
Well, he's been calling the lower tier winners hyenas the entire season. Yeah, but I think Tony has his upper echelon of lions, as probably 4 or 5 players out there,
right?
As upper echelon.
So Michelle's pissed at Nick.
But I think if Tony could take one back, I bet that would be because I think he likes Michelle.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. But we see as a clip of Michelle talking to Nick. She's pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, dude, we're screwed. Our backs against the wall. Why'd you do this? And I definitely think
he fucked up.
He did. He fucked up.
I mean, she goes, what path do you see for us to go to the end now? Jeremy was that path. Jeremy had Michelle's back. Yep. The move for Nick was to get rid of pretty much anyone else but Jeremy.
I know. That sealed his fate in the game.
But I think it's one of those deals where you just get those blinders on and I don't think Nick was thinking path to the end. I think Nick was thinking path to win again. Like, I think Nick was smart in knowing that Jeremy would be tough to beat, but Jeremy is 1 vote later or 2 votes later.
Yeah, not now when they need him.
Yeah, I mean, you just get that tunnel vision. You got the power, and that's the most power that Nick's had this entire season. Yeah. And I just think he wielded it imperfectly.
Yep, and we love Nick. No love lost. We love you, Nick.
I was really I think Nick's in the final 3 if he sends home anybody but Jeremy.
I know.
It'll
be interesting. I would love to talk to Nick. Hopefully we can talk to him and ask him about that, those scenarios. So at this point, Michelle's got nothing to lose. So she's talking with Sarah at the water well.
Oh yeah, she's
calling out Tony.
Yeah.
So I think is smart. I think at this point, Michelle has got to do whatever it takes. She's not giving up. She's playing with fire and she's feisty and she's like, you know what? I'm from New Jersey and I'm going to show people what the hell I got. And she plants a seed right then and there. I mean, it's a seed that Sarah should already know about Tony, but she plants that. And
Sarah does tell the group. So does Sarah think in her head, ooh, she's right. And let everyone else know this. Mm-hmm. But let me pin this on Michelle.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think it definitely was smart for her to go tell, sticking to her alliance, and man. And after this, do we go to the edge of extinction?
Yeah. Day 32, we once again learned that the edge of extinction sucks.
Oh yeah.
And we have the Throne of Stone clue, and it's Wendell the sprinter versus Natalie the runner. And the sprinter wins, but goes to the wrong spot.
Yep. Natalie goes, she's been on this island for the whole time, pretty much. Yes. So she knows the ins and outs. She finds the Throne of Stone, and it is a disadvantage that she can sell for a certain amount of fire tokens, which ended up being 8 is what she was going to sell for. It's basically they can sell this and that person can then play that against someone at the next challenge, which is actually
I'm much cooler with this than I was throwing a disadvantage on someone from a bitter fucking jury on the edge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. So man, it's a steep price, 8 tokens. So Nick finds it in his satchel. He's got 6 fire tokens. He's pretty stoked. He's like, man, I only need 2. So we see Michelle and Nick talking, and Michelle, like I said, has got nothing to lose. So she's like, of course, I'll give you a couple fire tokens. Like this is my play. If I don't do this, I have a chance of going home. So Nick gets the 8 fire tokens. We go to the immunity challenge, and it is played against Ben. And what this challenge is
dominoes,
the balance beam and blocks, which I played a challenge like this at the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge. So I got to do a fun challenge like this. So Ben's disadvantage, he does not know who it came from. He's bummed, but it's 30% more length of the beam, 30% more domino blocks. And
you take a blue chew, you potentially could get 30% more length.
That's right. That's right. So this man having a disadvantage at this point in the game. This is why we said fire tokens, man, are going to play a big part, because 8 tokens, that's a lot for someone to cough up, and it went down, and now Ben is stuck with having to do this challenge, and then he almost comes back to win. I love a challenge like this, and Michelle wins, and she makes a statement, dude, that no one clapped.
Yeah. Well, first she wins, and then she does a little dance, and she's looking, and no one is appreciative of her dance. No one's acknowledging her dance. And
I liked her dance.
I was girl, you that happy birthday. That was a tremendous birthday dance.
Yes.
You are fire, and you know it.
Oh, speaking of dancing, have you seen Abby Maria's stripper pole Instagram?
Yeah, that's
dancing.
Yeah, she's great.
She's been. So if you want to follow someone, follow Abby Maria and then watch her Instagram stories. It's been fun. So yeah, Michelle wins, and she is pumped. I mean, this is the time where, man, this really counts, and just goes to show you that in Survivor, anyone can win these challenges. Not that Michelle's not super athletic, but it just she might not have been the person I would have put my money on FanDuel to win this challenge, but she pulls it out. Back at camp, we see Denise.
Ben did ask who played the disadvantage, and said, no.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, dude. This isn't season 36.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So Denise starts giving this ploy like she's giving up. It's a fake facade. She's wanting to buy rice so she's strong, to where if she gets voted out and goes to the edge, she has the best food in her belly for energy to
and everyone else too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the real ploy is pretty much looking toward targeting Nick. And Nick wants Ben out really bad. Now, do you think that Nick even thought of trying to go for a guy like Tony? I mean, why isn't anyone talking Tony or Sarah Lucina at this point? Hello? Jonny Fairplay. Jonny Fairplay is frozen. I'm going to remove him from the stream, and then I'm going to add him back in. You there, Jonny?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what just happened.
Okay. So how come that no one is talking about Sarah Lucina or Tony?
I don't get it. As I said, I just think it's the power that Tony had for 3 or for 9 days in a row, and it's just carried over.
Yeah, I mean it's fascinating me. I mean,
or there's conversations that they're not showing because they're going against the narrative.
Yeah, that's probably We'll see. I'd love to know these little innuendos. So Nick wants Ben out because he's talking to Michelle and Tony about the Ben, like about voting him out. Like we do not want to go to fire. I mean, even when we talked to Sex Dr. Mike a little bit ago when he was on the podcast, Ben is like the king of making fire. We saw how it went down on the season Ben won. You know what I mean? So I don't know, dude.
I would not want to go to fire against Ben.
Hell no, dude. Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't want to go to fire against Boston Rob.
Who wins between Boston Rob and Ben and fire? Boston Rob?
Who? I don't know. Like, because Boston Rob's done construction, and I don't even know what Ben's done prior to did he?
I think he served the nation's military.
Oh, he served the nation's military. Thank you.
What I loved in this episode, Johnny, is I don't know if it was last episode. We got this preview for this spy nest that I was hoping was going to flourish and be awesome, but it was
so anticlimactic last week.
It was,
but they were just setting the table. Patience, young Matt. Patience.
They were. So I love that. I was laughing out loud, dude. Tony in his spy nest, just a little head popping out, peeping, and really finally hearing some intel, which I don't think. I mean, he heard some stuff that was beneficial to him.
Do you think Sarah led them there for the conversation? Like Sarah led the lambs to slaughter?
I don't know. Like you like Sarah knowing that Tony will probably be up in the spy nest type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, could have. We'll have to ask her. But all I know is at this point, Tony wants Denise out because Denise is like basically saying, I want Tony. And Tony's kind of like not having it. No one likes to hear their name brought up. But I love the return of the spy nest. And I like I said, I'm just completely shocked that we don't see him or Sarah even being talked about on the chopping block. But we go to a tribal council, Johnny Fairplay, second tribal of the night. Michelle realizing that she really needed this win right when it counted. Ben saying that he was just like one block short. I mean, had he not had that disadvantage and someone else did, most likely Ben would have won. And you know what I loved about this tribal? I mean, it wasn't like the craziest tribal ever, obviously, but Tony just seems to be playing it cool. There was no cool whispering.
Nope.
And there was whispering last time because Tony's like, he knows when to turn it up.
He knows when to turn it down. Create chaos or create the calm.
Yeah, and this was perfect scenario of creating the calm. He just sat back, didn't give away too much information. He had a couple statements that were really mellow. We see Denise talking about her like last meal, the last supper type plan, and she says
jury not digging it.
Yeah, they're like, no, they don't believe it.
Yeah.
She said she doesn't want to
they basically said bullshit.
Oh yeah, as I have a note here that says jury knows she's bullshitting.
Yeah, same. I have the exact same note. So
that's so funny.
My two highlights of the tribal were Michelle saying she needed immunity like a fish needs water, like Jeff needs a blue button down and khakis.
Yeah.
and then Nick, when he goes to make his vote, saying that by voting out Denise, he will have slayed the Queen Slayer, even though he didn't slay the Queen. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh, please don't let that be a bad sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
our boy Nick goes home. Props to your game. Props to you and Griselle, your future, and you're a great dude, man. I just think that the Jeremy vote was not the best for your game, and
he gave the coyote howl, which we see when on our final scene of the episode, a little bonus scene. When they're about to leave to watch the battle back into the game, both Tony and Sarah Lucina do the coyote howl.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think I know, I can't remember what the name of the alliance. I think they ended up with the system.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were originally Law and Order.
Yep.
It was Nick and I think it was like Nick, Wendell, Sarah, and Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, cops and lawyers. They were Law and Order.
Right.
And production said they couldn't be that because that's an NBC show.
Ah, gotcha.
So then they became the system.
Right on.
So if I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So, but to end the episode, we have one last look at the Edge of Extinction. Amber says she will miss Edge and The View, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, I don't think I would hate Edge. Like,
I don't either. And I wrote a note here, dude. Like, she gets emotional. She's like, man, never. We have these crazy lives typically, right? We're taking kids here. We're doing this. We're going to our job. We're doing podcasts, whatever. And the simplicity of, no makeup, no cooking dinner, no doing laundry, no this, the kids. It is like a break, and there's a beauty in the simplicity of that. Plus, she's out there with Boston Rob, and her kids are close by at a Ponderosa somewhere. But we're kind of, in this quarantine, I'm hoping a lot of the people that are, at home are kind of, I'm seeing so many people ride bikes and fishing and doing stuff outdoors. I'm hoping that it kind of correlated with what we're going on in our lives right now. It's kind of like the quarantine. We see Natalie, who every time I see her on TV, I'm like, she's such a badass, dude. She's a beast. She's got 14 tokens.
Yeah. Well, before we get to Natalie, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I don't think I'd hate Edge, but I do hate Amber for giving us a 5-minute soliloquy about it. So Boston Rob still has immunity idol. They do a toast. See you again, never Edge. And then we learn that Natalie has accumulated 14 tokens. She buys 3 advantages, an idol, Tyson an idol, and peanut butter.
Yeah, dude, that's huge. That's crazy, man. I mean, I think she's definitely. You know what? I'm going to say it now. I hope that as much as I love Wendell and different people, I would love to see Natalie get back into the game just because she's been there for so long.
Story. But I, once again, I don't want someone coming back from the Edge and winning this game.
I don't either. And I don't really see that happening. But
my last takeaway from the episode is we have one final confessional from Tony. I don't know if it's a preview for the next week or just the end of this episode, in which Tony says he wants to be the king and sit in Sandra's throne.
Yep. He's gonna be the king. And after this, man, we got like 7 minutes recap, so we're gonna of that usually is what happens at the beginning of the finale episode. So we'll see what happens. Johnny, it's been so fun podcasting about season 40. What a change of pace since last season's dog shit season. I do want to say real quick, I don't know if you saw, well, I'm sure you did. On Instagram, Survivor CBS posted something today that said, it just said Survivor's ready, and it said returning season 41. That's all it said.
Yeah. So CBS announced their fall and spring lineup for 20 and 21, and Survivor is listed.
Great.
So seasons 41 and 42 are confirmed. When they're able to get out there and film is another story. We talked about on the Q&A last night. I have Dave Matthews tickets for June 23rd in Raleigh, North Carolina. There was an official postponement date announced yesterday for July 23rd. Could this be the beginning of the end of the quarantine and the lockdown as we know it? Could that potentially get them out there, in late July, early August? And editing on the fly going into a late September drop for season 41, perhaps.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait for the for the episode next week, the finale. Man, this has flown by. And I want to thank some of our sponsors, man, for the Survivor NSFW podcast. So thank you, listeners. You guys are awesome. Check out our Patreon. But listen, Johnny, I do these things all the time. Any fool can climb a wall or crawl through sand, but as every Survivor fan knows, challenges are won or lost at the puzzle. The most successful players are puzzle masters, and you can be one too. And Perplexers Puzzles creates handmade miniature replicas of many of Survivor's greatest and most challenging puzzles. Find out if you have what it takes by visiting Perplexers Puzzle Store on Etsy or simply visiting survivorpuzzle.com. Enter promo code Fairplay at checkout for a 10% discount. Again, survivorpuzzle.com, 10% off with promo code Fairplay. I really hope they have the slide puzzle that we saw tonight as a new puzzle, because I would love to have a slide puzzle to mess around with, because I love doing these puzzles. So definitely check out Perplexers Puzzles.
Ryan, I know you're listening. There's a slide puzzle request. Let's see if we can make that happen going into the finale. That's survivorpuzzle.com. Use promo code Fairplay to save 10% off.
You will not be disappointed. My whole family, my boys, my wife, myself. It is so fun, and it's the thing is fun about it is it's a personal challenge, right? So if you love Survivor, just love doing something different. It's like you can time yourself on your iPhone and see how long it takes, and it's just a fun thing, and it's really cool. It's Survivor related, but Johnny,
well, you know what else is fun?
Well, two things. Well, I don't know, shaving pubes or banging, one of those two.
Well, they go hand in hand, like Jeff Probst in a button-down blue shirt and khakis.
Yeah, man.
Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Heck yeah. Now you can increase your performance and get that little extra confidence in bed. And we're not talking a little confidence. We're talking a lot of extra confidence. Listen up. It's BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Tell them, Matt.
Blue Chew brings you the first chewable, dude, with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night. I even might take one here in a couple minutes, even on a full stomach. Since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. So, dude, if you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is a fast and easy way to enhance your performance. It's prescribed online, which is perfect right now during this quarantine. Shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor visits. No waiting in the pharmacy. Best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they are cheaper than a pharmacy. So right now, Johnny Fairplay, for our listeners, we got a special deal. Visit BlueChew.com. Get your first shipment free when you use promo code Survivor. You just pay $5 shipping. And hey, you know, a lot of people should have an extra $5 laying around because you're not spending it on all the crap that you would, you know, if the quarantine wasn't happening. So free freaking Blue Chew, dude. That's
free. Hashtag super hard dicks, Matt.
That's right.
So tomorrow night, I'm recording the Pearl Islands. Well, tomorrow morning, I'm waking up at 6:30 a.m., right? I still got a job. Mm-hmm. I'll be up at 6:30 a.m. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm doing the Pearl Islands reunion at 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I'll probably be finished at 11:30 midnight.
Yep.
Boom. Blue Chew. 12:15. It's Pound Town.
Yeah, and so if you guys are getting horny and inspired by Johnny's sexcapades, go to BlueChew.com. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code Survivor and try it free. And Blue Chew is a better, cheaper, faster choice. We thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And as Johnny said, your wiener looks great with that Blue Chew pill in there, but it also looks great when you manscape, right? So Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. And I tell you what, dude, I just used the other day, I was like trimming my damn chest hair. I don't like a lot of body hair. I have not used it on my face. Don't worry about that.
Thank goodness. Matt used his lawnmower 2.0 on his face.
I did.
And we told him, even though it's great, it's gross.
Yes,
there's a razor for your face and there's a razor for your taint. If you're shaving up your asshole real nice, don't use that same razor.
But I took it in the shower with me, dude, and that light is so sweet that comes on the lawnmower 3.0. And you can it's waterproof, so I didn't have to worry about getting it all screwed up. But Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game, Johnny, with the Perfect Package 3.0 kit. Tell our listeners what kind of deal we got for them.
Well, if you're listening to the podcast right now, you're stuck inside your house with your significant other, pay close attention. Today's sponsor, Manscaped, can help you make the most of your time together. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls and, yes, your butthole. It's time to quarantine Manscaped and chill. Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below the waist grooming and hygiene. Look, the Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. This third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nick free thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin safe technology. And of course, let's not forget about the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits, so why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? Your other smelliest part of your body, your butthole. Shave that up with the Lawnmower 3.0. Get it real nice and pretty. Subscribers also get new replacement blade refills for your lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months. So you're making sure your trimmer always stays so fresh and so clean. For a limited time, subscribers get not one, but 2 free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value add, and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs.
I have them on right now.
There you go. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off. Get free shipping. Use promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. So once again, 20% off, free shipping with promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping. Most people are loading up on toilet paper, but I am loading up on Manscaped products. Help your relationship out during the quarantine. Your partner, your body, and your balls will thank you.
And you guys, if you want to support the podcast, become a patron. I'm telling you, it's worth it if you can, and you're a Survivor fan and you're a fan of ours. We have a blast. We let you into our secret Facebook group where you, the patrons, get to steer the ship, ask us Q&A questions every week. It's a cool community, and we even have patrons come on as guests doing the podcast with us on those. We do the Castaway watch-alongs. These T-shirts that you see available at johnnyfairplay.com, Tony Nachos, and tons of others. All of these links are available at survivornsfw.com. And Johnny Fairplay, this has been a fun season so far. It's going to be sad to see it go. But I tell you what, listeners, we have a lot of awesome stuff in the off season planned. And we got just a lot of podcasts dropping. So we thank you. And we will see you guys next week for the finale. It's going to be an interesting one. It's not going to be a live deal in LA. It's going to be a Zoom type reunion show. That's going to be interesting. But you got any last words, Johnny Fairplay, tonight?
No, become a patron. We have now over 100 patrons. There is the secret Facebook group. It's a really fun community. I love all the people there. That's honestly one of the coolest things about this whole thing. Just being able to go to the secret Patreon group and all the interaction there. So it's awesome. Like, especially during this quarantine, I'm really happy that that's a part of my life. I'm happy that we're a part of their lives. I can't imagine going through this quarantine without with you, Matt, and everything that we've created under the Survivor NSFW umbrella with all the Patreon stuff. It's really cool and really helps.
It is, and we speak the truth. We speak from our heart, man, and that's the beauty of what we do. So I love all of you guys, and we'll see you guys next week for the finale. Can't wait. Cheers and good night, everybody, and be safe out.